Okay. Just to review a little bit from yesterday, right? So we had the Mishnah. Why we're going to have a whole big machloket and different opinions on the Mishnah today. I'm going to try to screen share. Okay, so everyone, here.
By the way, thank you for the charts. I'm following it with the charts.
Oh, good, because I'm going to share one of the charts if I learn how to use my computer here. 1 second. Here, this is a simple chart. I'm not going to go through the complex chart right now. Okay, first of all, let's take a second to look back, not on the chart, at the Mishnah. Why is the Mishnah so confusing? So the Mishnah is confusing because we're using the term Shehiyah and Chazara, right? But what term does the Mishnah use, right? Shehiyah is when we put it on erev Shabbos, and Chazara is afterwards. The beginning of the Mishnah talks about Kira Shizuka Bakash U Begavava No Nima Lea Tafshil Begefet Ubeitim Lo Yitain Ad Shigrov. The big confusion is what is Lo Yitain? Is Lo Yitain Shehiyah or is Lo Yitain Chazara, right? So Chananya tells us, and we talked about this yesterday. Chananya Omer Kol Shehu K'Machal Ben Drusai, right? So we know that Machal Ben Drusai, I think according to Rashi, is a third cooked. According to the Rambam, it's half cooked, right? Mutar l'shaoto al gabei kira. So you could put it on a kira before Shabbos, right? Afal pi she'eino garuf ve'eino katum. He's saying it doesn't need to be covered, right? Oh, Dilma, what? Maybe our lo yitain in the Mishnah isn't talking about Shehiyah. It's a hotnan, right? You could put it on. I'm sorry. You could. Our Mishnah is talking about. Let me just. Oh, Dilma. Perhaps our Mishnah is saying l'shahot lo yitain, right? What does it mean l'shahotan? Shehiyah can be done miba'od yom. The garuf v'katam in Shehiyah can be done only if it's garuf v'katan, right? Low, but if it's not, then you can't. Because you can lachzir, but you can't be machzir. So the question is, what is it talking? Is it lo yitain saying you can't do Shehiyah? Is lo yitain saying you can't do chazara? Right? That's our question. Now, what is Chananya saying? We want to see if we can work with Chananya here. Now, Chananya in our Mishnah, if we look at the chart that I'm sharing, according to him, if it's not garuf katan, katum, right? It's the coals are still there. So according to Beit Shammai, you can leave water on. According to Beit Hillel, you can leave. We have water, right, or tafshil, which is here the chart says anything. But chazara for sure. If it's not garuf, you can't do according to Chananya. And now, if it's garuf, if it is covered, so again, it's the same idea as the first part. Water, according to Beit Shammai, is fine. Anything which is water or the tafshil is fine according to Beit Hillel. Chazara, you can't do, right? Beit Shammai says you can't do, and Beit Hillel says you can. You could do. He says you could put anything back. Now we're going to go into different opinions. Before we get to Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir's opinion, we are going to, there we go. Before we get into Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir's opinion, we're going to have another opinion that we're going to just say, oh, he doesn't help us, basically, which is Rav Chelbo. So we're about 10 lines down? 11 lines down. Tashma, do you have that? Tashma, de Amar Rav Chelbo, Amar Rav Chama Bar Guria, Amar Rav, Lo Shanu Ela Al Gaba, Aval Litocha Asur. So Rav Chelbo is saying in the name of Rav Chama Bar Guria, in the name of Rav, we were talking about, we didn't teach Al Gaba Ela Litocha Asur, right? So remember we talked about the kira. The kira is this oven. Inside the oven is the wood and all the fire. On top is this hole, and you put the top on hole. So you put the pot on top of the hole. That we're saying is okay, but to put it inside the oven where you have the fire, that's asur. Amart bishlama lachzir tnan Hainu deshani ben tocha al gaba. Ella Iyamart l'shahotnan mali tocha mali gaba. Right. So if you're talking about lachzir, if you're saying this lo yitain is talking about lachzir, then I can understand that you're making a distinction between putting it on top and putting it inside. But if it's l'shahot me'erev Shabbat, what difference does it make? Me savat Rav Chelbo areishakai. But why you think that Rav Chelbo is talking about the beginning of the Mishnah? Aseifakai, he's talking about the end of the Mishnah. Ubeit Hillel omrim af machzirin, and Beit Hillel says that you can put it back. So now we're going to say what Rav Chelbo is saying. V'amar Rav Chelbo amar Rav Chama bar Guria amar Rav lo shanu ela al gaba aval tocha asur. So when he's saying af machzirin, which is basically the last two words of the Mishnah, in the name of Hillel, he's saying it that it's only on top that you can be machzir and not inside. Okay, so that doesn't help us in our full understanding of the Mishnah. Hi, Judy.
Hi.
Ashma.
May I ask a question, Susan?
Yeah.
We usually think of liquids being more machmir with liquids. So how is it that Beit Shammai is there's more of a kulev there with the liquids?
Okay, the liquid, I actually was thinking of it like our kumkum for Shabbos that we have plugged in, right?
Uh-huh.
That's our kli rishon, right? So the liquid here that we're talking about is hot, and it's hot from before Shabbos, and if it stays hot, then you're not recooking the water. The water is already hot, and it's and later on we're going to talk about how hot it is. But this water is already hot and fully cooked and staying hot. It's not that it's cooled off water that you're reheating.
Okay.
Is that and I think it fits when I think about the kli rishon, which is our water kumkum, right? When we think about the food that we're putting on top of the blech, right? We're doing all of these things, but our water is really staying in that inside of that kli rishon the whole time. And even like when we use a crock pot, which would be similar to the water heater, a lot of people line it with tin foil and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
So that's how I saw it. Okay. Okay, so now again, we're going to try to resolve according to whom is our Mishnah. That's our question for today. Tashma, Shnei Kirot, Ha-Matimot, Achad Grufa V'Ktuma, V'Achad Sheina Grufa V'Eina Ktuma. So Rashi says basically you have a double oven side by side, and one is the fire is covered inside, and the other one it's not, right? Mashin al gabe grufa v'ktuma ve'en mashin al sheina grufa ve'ena ktuma. So I can put on top of the one that's covered, I can put on top of it a pot, but the one that's not covered, which is right next to it, right, I cannot put anything. Umahen mashin. So what can I put on top of it, right? We're quoting this brisa. It's according to Rabbi Meir at the beginning here. We're going to give his opinion. Umahen mashin. What can I leave on top? Beit Shammai omrim below klum. Beit Shammai says you can't put anything on top. So we realize that's not like our Mishnah, right? Because as you just asked, Beit Shammai had that water sitting up there, right? Ubeit Hillel omrim chamin avalo tafshil. And according to we're going to see it's according to Rabbi Meir. According Rabbi Hillel can leave the water there, but he can't put the cooked food there. Akar, if he removed it, right? Divrei hakol lo yachzir. So there's no chazara going on according to this brisa, right? Divrei Rabbi Meir. That's Rabbi Meir. So we see with Rabbi Meir, we're going to point this out afterwards, but I'm pointing it out now so you'll remember for a few lines from now. Rabbi Meir is not like our Mishnah because he's not like Beit Shammai and he's not like Beit Hillel, right? Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Beit Shammai Omrim Chamin, Avalo Tafshil. So this is closer, right? Rabbi Yehuda says, we're talking about, Beit Shammai says you can leave on Chamin, but not a Tafshil. Beit Hillel Omrim Chamin Bit Tafshil. And Beit Hillel says you can leave on a chamin and a tafshil. Beit Shammai omrim notlin aval lo machzirin. He says that you could take it off, right? You left it on, you could take it off, but you can't put it back. Ubeit Hillel omrim af machzirin. And Beit Hillel says you can put it back. Okay. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about here? I said we're talking about shehiyah, but now we're going to ask that question. Are we talking about shehiyah chazara in this right? From our Mishnah, like what can we extrapolate from this brisa to our Mishnah? Because what's our Mishnah talking about? Shehiyah chazara, and what's this talking about here? Okay. Bishlama l'shahot, tzamat nitin mani. So if you're talking about it's just l'shahot to leave it on, Rabbi Yehuda, then we're saying, okay, that works according to Rabbi Yehuda. But if you say our Mishnah, but if you say that our Mishnah is talking about chazara, then who is it? Lo Rabbi Yehuda, v'lo Rabbi Meir. It can't be either Rabbi Yehuda or Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir kashya lebeit Shammai b'chada lebeit Hillel b'tarte. So if it's Rabbi Meir, we have a question on Beit Shammai for one, because Rabbi Meir is not differentiating between, as Rashi says, between Garuf and Katum and not Garuf and Katum, which is we see in our Mishnah, and we see Beit Hillel, Shammai is differentiating. Beit Hillel b'tarte, and with Beit Hillel we have two problems, right? The problem with Beit Hillel is he makes a difference between tafshil with chazara, because Beit Hillel, if we look at Rashi right here, but Beit Hillel b'tarte, Timatnitan shari Beit Hillel l'shahot chamin b'tafshil af b'sheino garuf v'hachaktani de b'garuf chamin in tafshil lo. So according to Beit Hillel in our Mishnah, you have leaving on l'shahot chamin and tafshil, even if it's not covered, and here we're saying de b'garuf chamin in. You can put the chamin on when it's charuf, tafshil lo, but the cooked food no. Ub'sheino garuf ein mashin klal, and if it's not covered, you can't leave anything on. V'linyan chazara, and in terms of putting it back, b'garuf tnan b'matnitin lebeit Hillel machzirin v'haktani akar divrei hakol lo yachzir. But we had the last line of our Mishnah said that according to Beit Hillel you can put it back, and here Rabbi Meir says you cannot be machzir. Rabbi Yehuda kashya grufa v'ktuma. If we're saying that it's Rabbi Yehuda and we're saying it's chazara, then we have a question on grufa v'ktuma. Again, look at Rashi. The Rabbi Yehuda the Amar Nami kimanitin mikol makom grufa v'ktuma kashi demanitin tirtzeh de plukta kamaita b'sheino garuf v'sharu Beit Shammai chamin ubeit Hillel chamin b'tafshil. Right, so Beit Shammai, when it was not garuf, he was putting on, he was leaving on the water for shehiyah, and Beit Hillel the chamin and the tafshil. V'chachaktani ein mashin al gabei she'ena grufa v'she'ena ktuma klal, and he wasn't allowing to put anything on that wasn't covered garuf v'katum. Uplukta l'shahot b'grufa v'ktuma, and they have a contradiction of leaving it on if it's garuf v'katum. So we see that it can't be fully, if we're talking about chazara, it can't be fully Rabbi Yehuda. It only could be him if it's shehiyah. So we're still looking. La'olam ein malach lachzir tanan. If we're talking about lachzir, then how are we going to understand our Mishnah? And here we're going to say that our Mishnah is according to an author who goes partially according to Rabbi Yehuda and partially not. B'tana didan savar la ki Rabbi Yehuda b'chada upalgi galea b'chada. Savar la ki Rabbi Yehuda b'chada b'chamin v'tavshil v'notlin u'machzirin. So he agrees with Rabbi Yehuda according to putting the water and the tavshil and putting on and taking off. Upali galei b'chada. Di'ilu tana didan savar l'shahot v'afal pi she'no garuf v'katum. You could put it on before Shabbos, erev Shabbos, even though it's not covered. Rabbi Yehuda savar l'shahot nami garuf v'katum in ilo lo. But Rabbi Yehuda says to put it on erev Shabbos, you have to have it covered. If it's covered, okay, but if it's not covered, no. Okay, so that's how we resolve it. The Tana of our Mishnah, who we don't know who he is, goes partially according to Rebbe Yehuda, and partially not according to Rebbe Yehuda. And that's why the whole machloket that Dr. Moshe talked about yesterday when he brought down what Rav Rimon wrote and all the other Rishonim, when he wrote down, he said all those different opinions. He said that's the whole conflict within our Mishnahs, because we don't know exactly who it's according to, and therefore we have the leniencies according to Chananya. Rabbi Razner, who I listened to today, also pointed out that here we're talking about only basically mechzi, as Rashi said yesterday, mechzi kamavashal. We're only talking about cooking dirabanan, and it's not cooking d'oraita according to Rashi here. And the reason for this is that because Chananya brings out that it's machal ben drusai, and once food is either, like we said, a third cooked or half cooked, depending on Rashi and Ramban, then the food is considered the status of cooked, and afterwards it's not d'oraita cooking according to Rashi. Obviously, there are those who say that perhaps the Ran talks about that even if the food is cooked, you still have a Isser d'oraita shema yigacheh b'gechalim, and since we're at the beginning of this whole discussion, we're going to see more of that later on. So until this point, any questions? Okay. Okay. Now we talked about putting the pot on top. We talked about putting the pot inside. Now we're going to talk about putting the pot next to the oven. Okay, by the wall. So are we allowed to do that? And what status does the oven need to be in if we're doing that? Tocha v'gaba asur, aval smoch shapir dami. Do we say, right, that we have an oven that's not a kira, that's not garufa katum, right? It's the fire is not covered. So we say on top of it and inside we can't put the food. But next to it we could. Oh, dilma loshna, or there's no difference. Putting it on top or inside, and on the side is all the same. Tashma shtei kirot hamatimot achad grufa v'ktuma v'achad she'ena grufa v'ktuma mashihin al gabei grufa v'ktuma. So we are re-quoting what we said before, is that if we have this double oven and there's one that's not garufa katum and the other that is, then I could put my pot on top of the one that is garufa katum. And it's still going to get some of the warmth from the oven that's not garufa katum, right? I could still put it on the one that's covered. Dilma, so maybe that should be allowed also. Samuch Dilma shani hatam de kevan de midlay shalit ba avira. So perhaps I'm allowed to put my pot on top of the one that's not garuf v'katum, even though it's getting some heat from the oven next to it, which is garuf v'katum, which is open, which is the open fire, because it's also getting a cooling agent from the air since it's sitting on top. But if I'm samuch, perhaps there's no air which is cooling it off. So maybe I can't learn from that. Tashma. So we try again. Tashma. The Amar of Safa, Amar of Chia. Katma v'nit lavta somchila. So here says us clearly. He says that if it's katum, if fire is covered, v'nit lava somchila. And what happened? The fire reignited. I showed my intention. Erev Shabbos, I covered the fire with ashes, right? I covered it up, but somehow it seemed to re-spark, right? But even so, I can be so mechla, I could put a pot next to it. And also I could put the pot on top of the hole there, and I could take it off. And I could put the pot back. So therefore, from here I know that I can also be somech. I can put my pot next to the kira. Katma in lo katma lo. I could put it on the kira that the ashes are the fire is covered, but I can't do it on the one that's not. V'tamech notli mimene diktani katma in lo katma lo. So what you're teaching me this, but there's something wrong with this brisa because it's saying I could take it off. I can always take the food off. There's no halachic issur to take the food off of a fire, right? So so there's something wrong here. I don't know if we can learn from this. No, it's teaching you. I remember we've talked about this many times that we want to be able to remember. So it's teaching notlim mishum machzirim. I'm telling you, you could take it off because I want to teach you that you could be machzir. Hachanami tana somchim mishum mekaymin. I want to say that you can be somech because you're also allowed to put it on top. Hachi hashta, but is this the same thing? Hatam notlim machzirim b'chad makom. B'chad makom hu. Tana notlim mishum machzirin. No, but notlim, if you're telling me I could take it off the top of the kira and I could put it back on top of the kira, that's the same place. Okay, I can understand that you're teaching me that. But somchim, I'm putting it on the side of the oven, and mekaymim, I'm putting it on top of the oven. It's not the same place. So what's the answer? There's something wrong with this teaching. We have to find another answer. My haviela, what's the answer? Tashma, kira, shisuku ha begefet ubeitzim, somchin la. Okay, if you a kira that is heated with gefet and eitzim, which we saw also in our Mishnah, somchin la. You can put the pot next to it. Ve'ein mekaymin, ela im kain gufa b'ktuma. But you cannot put it on top unless you cover the fire. Gechalim, excuse me. Gechalim shamamu o shnatan aleha nura shel pishtan daka harehi ktuma. And now it's also teaching us that gechalim, these coals that dim, right? They don't have they're dying out. Or you put this small layer of pishtan on it, which is like a covering. It's like it's katum. It's like it's covered. Okay, now we learn that doing this, you can be somech the pot next to the kira, even if the fire is not covered. Only if you're putting it on top, then the fire has to be covered. That's what we learned from this. And that's our answer for smicha. Okay, Amar Rav Yitzchak bar Nachmani, Amar Rav Oshia, Tama v'huv ara, Mashina le'achamin, shehuch mu kol tzarkan. That answers your question you did before, right? So Rav Yitzchak bar Nachmani is saying in the Rav Oshia, Katma v'huv ara, you have this fire that you covered and it reignited. Even though it reignited, you could still put upon it your water that has been fully heated, v'tavshil shebishal kol tzorko, and also food that has been fully cooked. 1 second. Okay, Shma mina. So what do we learn from this? Mitzdamek v'yafelo mutar. That if the food that you're putting back on becomes better when it's on, you could still put it back on. You could still put it onto the covered fire. Shani hacha, which had reignited. Shani hacha diktama. Okay, so this is okay, fine, because you covered it. And if you covered it, so what are you teaching me? I learned this before. What are you teaching me? So I'm teaching you. The Gemara says, "Huv ara itzrichle." I'm teaching you the case of when it reignited. Mahu detema kevan dehuv ara hajala lamilta kamaita kamashmalan. I'm teaching you that you would have thought that because the fire reignited, that you could not leave the food on it. But I'm teaching you that because you covered it and you showed your intent to have the fire covered, therefore you can put your food on it. And are there any questions, or I'll pass it on to Dina?
Yeah, thanks. That was a hard one. Okay, so I'm picking up at the end of that fourth line, Lamed Zayin Amud Bet. Just to give a heads up, what's going to happen here is there's actually going to be 3 different statements, all in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, which all somewhat contradict themselves, all about what does Rabbi Yochanan think about Shihiyah. the first one, which is in the name of Rabba Bar Bar Chan, in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, is sort of going to be a repeat of the piece that that Susan just said. It's just now they're saying in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Okay, so Am Rabba Bar Bar Chana, Am Rabbi Yochanan. Ketama v'hu v'ara. So again, if you did in fact sort of, take out the ashes or cover it or whatever it is, and then it reignited, mashina leha chamin shuchmu kol tzarchan. You can then, according to this opinion, the name of Rabbi Yochanan, do shihia with food that was fully cooked or water that was fully cooked. Okay, that's the piece that got added here that we didn't have in the piece that Susan did, and they're going to say that's the chiddush. Even with these super hot coals, like Rashi says, gechalim shel rotam ar chamin yoter mishar gechalim ve'inam mimaharim lachabot. They're like super hot coals. Shma mina, and we derive from this mitztamech v'yafalo mutar, because again, our whole question that we're trying to answer here is within the sheets of the Chachamim. Again, for Hananya, this wouldn't even be a question, because for Hananya, he allows doing shihia with even not fully cooked food, even without garuf katum. So, like as long as it was machal ben drusai, for Hananya, again, even not fully cooked, as long as it was machal ben drusai, even not garuf katum, it's fine. So this is like not even a question for him. This would all be within the sheets of the Chachamim, which says that you could only do shihia if it's garuf katum, and if it's fully cooked, is what if, when they say fully cooked, does that mean like fully cooked and it will even make it worse if you continue to leave it on the fire? What about, meaning what if it's fully cooked, but like it will still improve it to like leave it on more? That's really the question we're trying to understand, is this mitztamech v'yafelo. So they're basically trying to say that based on this piece where we basically say that, yes, you could do shia, food that was fully cooked, sounds like as long as it's fully cooked, even if it will improve by being left on there longer, it would be fine. So they're trying to bring this as a proof that mitztamech v'yafelo would be fine. However, they're going to now deflect that proof, same as what happened in the piece Susan did. Shani hacha dikatama. No, you cannot prove from this that, say, within Shitat Chachamim, that as long as it's fully cooked, it's fine to do shihia, as long as it's mitztamech, even if it's mitztamech v'yafelo, because maybe the only reason it was okay here is because of the fact that you had initially covered it and it just reignited, which showed that you have no intention of like stoking those coals. Maybe if you had never done like garuf katum at all, then you wouldn't be able to, even if it was fully cooked, but it's mitztamech v'yafelo. So again, we're trying to prove mitztamech v'yafelo would be fine for the Chachamim. We're trying to say, no, it's no proof, because it had been garuf katum, it just then reignited. But again, they say, if so, my lememra, like, what's the chiddush? Meaning, if you're going to tell me this was a fully garuf katum thing, then like, then what's the chiddush here? And the answer is, well, they're going to say, huvara eats tzricha, which was again exactly what Susan had. The chiddush is because it reignited. Yeah, it had been garuf katum, except then it reignited. But hainuhach, okay, but that's literally exactly, I don't know if you know it, literally this was exactly word for word the piece that Susan had just done. It's the same thing as that other shita. So they say, gechalim shel rotem itzrichale. The chiddush here was that line where he had said, I feel gechalim shel rotem, that even when it's like super, super hot coals, but you had, again, sort of, put ash on it or whatever it is, and then it reignited, okay, that would be fine, even if it's mitztamech v'yafelo, but we don't yet have an answer of what if it's mitztamech v'yafelo and you had not done garuf katum in some way, but at least we do know that if you had done a garuf katum and it reignited, even if it was with super hot coals, that would be okay, even within Shitat Chachamim. Okay, that was piece one. Now comes, okay, I hope. Okay, now comes Amrav Sheshet, Amrav Yochanan. So again, here's now a second opinion within the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Again, the first one's Rabba Bar Bar Chan and then Rabbi Yochanan. Now we have Rav Sheshet in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. And here's going to be a totally different version. Like in this one, Rabbi Yochanan is more like Chananya, because here he says, Kira sheisikuhu begefetu be'itzim. Again, an oven that you sort of had lit with, coals or wood. Right? Here he's talking about you could even do shihia even with food that was not fully cooked. Again, in the first one, it was food that was fully cooked and it was an oven that had been garuf katum, it just then reignited. Here we're talking about food that was not even fully cooked, and he's saying, or water that was not, fully cooked, and you could put it on, and there was no mention of garuf katum. So that's why this is a totally different, like radically extreme difference than the first version of Rabbi Yochanan. because here this is like super lenient, this one would be like Chananya. And it continues and says, Akar, if you removed it from the flame, lo yachzer achi gruf o achi aver. Again, this would be like Chananya, that it's only vis-a-vis Chazara that you would have to do garif, okatum. But vis-a-vis Shihia, as long as it's machal ben shai, even if not fully cooked, it would be fine to do Shihia. Yeah, again, I hope that that's clear. Again, this version of Rabbi Yochanan, he's basically quoting him sort of like Chananya, that for Chazar, you have to do garif akatim. For Shihia, as long as it's machal ben drusai, even not fully cooked, you don't even need garif akatim. Again, totally different version of Rabbi Yochanan than the first one. And so now they're basically going to clarify that. Kasavar matnitin lahachsir tanan. Again, this Rav Shesha clearly in the name of Rabbi Yochanan thinks that our Mishnah was talking about lahachsir again, and that's Hanania's position, that it's only vis-a-vis chazara that you have to do garif katum. Aval lishahot mashina filu sheino garif eino katum. To do shihia, again, you could do shihia even if it's not garif and not katum. Amar Rava, but Rava now comes and says, Travayu Tananhe. Yeah, but like that's no chiddush. Like we already basically learned that in a Mishnah, and they're now going to quote the Mishnah out, which already say that. Lishaho Tanina. So the fact that you could do Shihia as long as it was Machal ben Drusai, even without Garfa Katim, they're going to say we learned it in the following Mishnah, which says, that you can't put bread or like dough into an oven if it's like close to dark, and you can't put a biscuit on top of like say the coals again close to dark. Unless like sort of the outer part had like crusted over. Meaning that's essentially like a term for machal ben drusai, like for bread, but it's not fully cooked, and that's what they're going to say. This implies that again, if it wasn't yet crusted over at all, like it's not cooked at all, then no, you couldn't. But that as long as it was crusted a little bit, even not fully cooked, then yes, you could. That's why they're trying to say that from that Mishnah, we would already see that it doesn't have to be fully cooked in order to be able to do shihia, which is why they were trying to say this wasn't a chiddush. And now the second part, they're saying lahachsir nami tamina. The fact that he said for chazara you have to do garif akatum, that also we learned in a Mishnah. Beit Hillel omrim af machzirin, because Beit Hillel again at the end of our Mishnah had said that yes, you could do chazara if it was garif akatum. They're going to clarify that. Va'ad kan lo kashru Beit Hillel ela begruf v'katuma. But again, even Beit Hillel who said yes, you could do chazara, that's only if it was garif akatum. Aval b'she'ena grufa v'katuma lo. But again, if not garif akatum, then not. Point being, they're just trying to say that this version of Rav Shesha in the name of Rabbi Yochanan is not really a chiddush. Like we see both points. He really had made 2 points. One was that you could do shihia as long as it was machal ben drusai, even without garif akatum. The second one was that shihia you could do, but only a garif akatum. And they basically quoted 2 Mishnayot, which basically made those points. And so they're trying to say like, what's his chiddush? So the answer is Rav Sheshet nami diuka demanitin kamashmalan, that Rav Sheshet is basically trying to like sort of be explicit about a diuk from the Mishnah, and that's what his chiddush is. That's what he's teaching us. Because really, say the Mishnah in particular about putting in the dough. Only if it like crusted over, had basically said you can't if it wasn't crusted over, but didn't explicitly say you can if it was crusted over, and so that's sort of his chiddush is just sort of making it more explicit. Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda. Now we're going to have a third statement of somebody named Rabbi Yochanan. So Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda, Rabbi Yochanan. And this one is going to be in the middle. Again, if you remember the first Rabbi Bar Bachan named Rabbi Yochanan, the first one was like very strict. That was more like the Chachamim. The second one that we just had was like Chananya. That was very lenient. This one's going to be in the middle. So Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda, Rabbi Yochanan, Kira Sheisi Kua Begefetu Beitzim, again, an oven that was lit with, something like coals. Mashin Allah Tavshil Shabishil Kol Tzarcho. You could do shihia as long as it was fully cooked. That's why it's more strict than the middle position of Hanani, who says it just has to be machal ben drusai. Here it has to be fully cooked. But he still does say, even if it's mitztamik v'yafelo, so it is fully cooked, again, which is more strict than saying just machal ben drusai, what's it called? But it's not as strict as saying it has to be to the point of mitztamik viralo, even if it will get better by leaving it on more, like that would still be okay. And there was no mention here of grufa v'ktuma, so it sounds like as long as it's fully cooked, again, so it's more strict than machal ben drusai, more strict than Hananya, but it would be okay to do shihia, even if it's not garaf akatum, if it's fully cooked, even if it will improve. Amarle, Amahu midrabanan the Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda. However, one of the rabbis say back to this Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda, who has this version of Rabbi Yochanan, Ha Ravu Shmuel to Amri Travayu mitztamik v'yafalo aser. They say, how can you quote that in the name of Rabbi Yochanan? We know that both Rav and Shmuel say that if it's mitztamik v'yafalo, it's not okay. Again, because this last position said that as long as it's fully cooked, it's okay, even if it will improve to do shihia even without garfa katum. And they're saying, but Rav and Shmuel clearly say, nah, mitztamik v'yafalo is not okay. It would have to be at the point of actually worsening of being mitztamik v'ralo. So his response back is, Amarle, atu late ana yada. What, do you think I don't know that? The Amrav Yosef, Amrav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel, mitzhamik v'yafalo aser. Meaning I know that it's been quoted in the name of Shmuel, and presumably also in the name of Rav, that if it's mitzhamik v'yafalo, it's aser to do shihia if it's not garaf v'katum. When I stated it, I wasn't trying to say that that's what I think, because like I know that Rav and Shmuel disagree with that, so like I wouldn't say that. I was just trying to tell you Rabbi Yochanan's opinion. Rabbi Yochanan does in fact disagree with Rav and Shmuel. Rabbi Yochanan does think that as long as it's fully cooked, even if it will improve, it's okay to do shia without garaf v'katum. Rav and Shmuel disagree and think even if it's fully cooked, not okay to do shihia if it's not garaf v'katum. If it will still improve, it would have to be mitztamik v'ralo. Amarle Rav Ukva Mimeshan le Rav Ashi. So then Rav Ukva from this place called Meshan says to Rav Ashi, Atun demikrovitu le Ravu Shmuel avidu Ravu Shmuel. You who live in a place that's close to Rav and Shmuel have to do as Rav and Shmuel said, meaning you'll have to be machmir and you cannot do shihia even if it's fully cooked, if it's not garaf v'katum. If it will still improve, you'd have to wait till it's mitztamik, either until it's mitztamik v'ralo or do garaf v'katum. Ana na'avik Rabbi Yochanan, but we who don't sort of live in like Rav and Shmuel's vicinity, so like we're not beholden to them, so like we can follow the more lenient sheet of Rabbi Yochanan, and we can do shia even without garaf v'katum as long as it's fully cooked, even if it's still going to improve. Amarle Abai Rav Yosef, but Abai then says to Rav Yosef, Mahu l'shahot, like what's the deal with doing shihia? So here it's not entirely clear what his question is, meaning Rashi says like b'she'ena grufa. It's pretty clear there, but also Tosa says b'she'ena grufa. It's pretty clear that we're talking about a case where it's not garaf v'katum, but what's not clear is what's the status of the food when he's sort of saying mahu l'shahot. So basically Tosa seems to say that either he's asking about food that's not fully cooked, because again, till now we basically were saying if it's fully cooked, then with mitztamik vitovlo or v'yafelo, that's where we have machloket. Rav and Shmuel say still not good, and Rabbi Yochanan will say good. But here, either we're asking about food that's not even fully cooked, and then we're asking sort of, do we pass like Chachamim or Chananya, meaning we're going back to that machloket, or they're talking about food that's fully cooked, but it's mistamik v'yafalo, and then essentially we're asking, are we paskening like Rabbi Yochanan or like Rabbi Shmuel? Meaning it's not clear, is this question going back to the Chananya, Chachamim question, and it's not fully cooked, or it's fully cooked in mistamik v'yafalo, and they're sort of asking about what we were just talking about now, and they're saying, are we like Rav and Shmuel that that's still no good, or like Rabbi Yochanan that would make it okay? Either way, but so we have this question, Mahu l'shahot. Amarle, the response back is, Ha Rabbi Yehuda amashu leva achil. Rabbi Yehuda, they would basically do like shihia for him. Again, in whichever case we're talking about, either food that wasn't fully cooked or it's fully cooked as v'yafelo, and he would eat whatever it is that the question is. They're basically saying they would do this shihia thing for Rabbi Yehuda and he would eat it. Point being, they're trying to say it's fine, don't worry about it. Amarle, but the response back is bar mine de Rabbi Yehuda, except for Rabbi Yehuda, or ignore this case with Rabbi Yehuda. Why? Basically, Rabbi Yehuda was dangerously ill, and so even on Shabbos itself, not just shihia, but like even chazara directly, it would be mutter to do it for him because he's sick. Like, don't bring a proof from the fact that they would do this shihia thing for Rabbi Yehuda. Don't bring a proof that makes it okay. He was like a choles, so like you just can't bring a proof for that at all. As they're saying, leave the lachmai for me and you who are normal, healthy people. Like, what's the deal with this shihia thing? Amarle, so the response back is Bisura Mashu, that they would do shihia in Surah. Now again, that's why it's so frustrating. We don't really know what the question is. Are they saying they would do shihia with food not fully cooked, and they're telling us they're passing like Hananya, or they're talking about food that's fully cooked, that means Tamik V'yafalo, we're passing like Chachamim, and they're just telling us we're like Rabbi Yochanan. Since it's not clear what the question is, it's not clear what they're answering, but either way, they're saying yes, in Surah they would do shihia. The Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Mari de Uvdahava. This Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak was like a master of deeds, is what it literally means, but basically means he was like very careful about like mitzvot. Umashu leva achil, and yet even though he's so so medactic, they would do shia for him and he would still eat it. Am Ravashi ka'amina kame de Rav Huna v'shahin lekasa daharsnava achal. So Rashi says, I was basically, standing before Rav Huna, and again, they did shihia with this kasa daharsana, which they translate as like fish hash, whatever, and he would eat it. Point being, we're having all these cases where they're basically quoting ma'aseh shahayas of rabbis where they saw that shia was done, and yet the rabbi still ate it. Again, to me, and I guess also Rashi and Tosfos and the Rishon and whatever, what's frustrating is, felt like they didn't clarify what the shia case is. So it's helpful to know that, okay, clearly there's some leniency in shihia that they're allowing for, but since they're not being entirely clear, are they talking about where it was fully cooked? Are they talking about, when it's matamic v'ya or whatever it is? It's not so super helpful, but okay, at least there's something that they're saying yes, they would do. But now they're going to, here, and they're going to clarify that. Velo yadana here, but so now where they're quoting this story of this rabbi who they would do shia with this fish hash and he would eat it. Velo yadana imishum de kasarva mitztamek v'yafalo mutter. Was he eating this fish hash that they did this shihia on because he thinks basically it was fully cooked, but it was mitztamek v'yafalo, and he thinks that's mutter, and then this would be helpful that then we would know he's like Rabbi Yochanan against Rav and Shmuel. Or is it simply because since there's flour in this fish hash, this kasa daharsana dish, it actually is mitztamek viralo? And if it's mitztamek viralo, then actually that doesn't really help us. Everybody agrees that if it's fully cooked and is even mitztamek viralo, even again, then even Rav and Shmuel would agree it's fine. So like the fact that we have this Master Shahaya of this rabbi who did shihia with this Kasa Daharsana and still would eat it, except we don't know, was it Mitzamek v'yafalo? And then we actually learned something from this, that he thinks Mitzamek v'yafalo is mutter, and that would tell us he's like Rabbi Yochanan against Rav and Shmuel? Or is it just because of Mitzamek v'ralo? And then that doesn't really help us because everybody agrees Mitzamek v'ralo is fine. Rav Nachman, mitztamek v'yafalo aser. So Rav Nachman tells us if it's mitztamek v'yafalo, no, it's not okay. It would be aser. Mitztamek v'ralo mutter. Again, it's only mutter if it's mitztamek v'ralo. Again, that would be like Rav and Shmuel, not like Rabbi Yochanan. And now they say, klala de milta, the rule of the matter is, kol di'it ve'mecha, anything that has flour in it, mitztamek v'ralo. He basically says anything with flour by definition is like it's worse to leave it on the oven longer, so that's mitztamek v'ralo, and then everybody would agree that if you're at that point, then shihia would be okay, even without roof of the katum. Levar mitafchel delifta, except for a dish that has turnips in it. De'aval ganti bemecha, if it has turnips, then even if it has flour, it's still mitzamek v'yafalohu. They're going to keep on limiting it though. V'hane mili de'it be bisra, meaning even with like turnips plus flour plus meat, then it becomes mitzamek v'yafalo. About late bisra, but if it doesn't have meat, mitzamek v'ralohu, then even turnips with flour would still be mitzamek v'ralo. Now they're still going to add one more. V'chi'it bisra, even if it has meat, nami lo amaram, we still don't say that it's mistamek v'yafalo, ela de lo kave leilo orchim, it's not for guests. About kave leilo orchim, but if it's for guests, mistamek viralo. Point being that basically, we're basically any dish with flour is mistamek viralo, except for turnips, but even the turnips, they limit, so it's only turnips with flour plus meat, and it's not for guests, that would still be mitztamek v'yafalo. Otherwise, anything with flour and even turnips or whatever it is, if it didn't have all those things about turnips plus flour plus meat plus not for guests, whatever would basically be considered mitztamek v'ralo. Only turnips, flour, meat, not for guests would be mitztamek v'yafalo. And then it says this last piece, lift the dice of vitamre mitztamek v'ralahen. Also figs, cereal, and dates are also considered to be mitztamek v'ralahen dishes. And that's where I stop, because then it starts asking a question that will go into the next amud. So again, it's whatever, it's still confusing. I hope that at least helps somewhat, certainly at least to get through the page, but yeah, basically this one was more back on, again, those shihia issues and trying to understand about mitztamek v'yafalo in particular.
Dina, I have a question.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we talked about the pot on the tanur. Is that because it has the flour and it would be mitztamek v'ralo if you put it back?
Oh, I didn't even pay attention to that. Wait, I'm trying to see which one. You're talking about right back on the very top, the very first Amar Rabba Bar Bar Chana case?
Yeah. Ein notnin et hapat b'toch hatanur im chashecha.
Wait, hold on. Wait, just tell me again where you are.
It's towards the top where we brought this chiddush about the pot being able to be put back.
Because I'm trying to see, where did it mention?
There's a little olive there at the beginning of that line.
Oh, wait, the Rashi letter aleph, meaning that's not so high up, meaning like a third of the way down? That's why I was looking. Yes, about the inotina tapat, that one?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking too high. You said the top, so I was looking too high. In other words, interesting. I mean, you're saying the one about the dough that crusted over. I hear, except there, I think it's not even about this, because there, meaning all these cases now at the bottom are where it's fully cooked, and we're just wondering, it's fully cooked, but it still might improve by leaving it on more. The case with the dough earlier was where it wasn't even fully cooked. It just had crusted over, but it wasn't even cooked inside. So that's why I think that one is even different, because there, I think it was about that case was for sure about the issue of, say, Chananya versus Chachamim, about if it was kamachal ben drusai but not fully cooked, would it be okay? And what we're talking about on the bottom is where it is fully cooked, and then it's just a question of, will it still though improve?
Okay.
Thank you.
Toda rabah.